Now I'm joined by John in Policy and Communications, and we just heard from Adrian, John, that there is strength in landlord numbers at a policy level, and that's really where you come in, isn't it?
Absolutely. When any organisation is looking to talk to the government and challenge or change legislation, then the more people you speak for, the more seriously you'll be taken. So getting a united landlord voice, getting people to lobby their MPs, their assembly members or the local councillors, it's really important that we have numbers behind us when we do that.
And you're running quite a few campaigns at the moment, aren't you?
It's a hugely busy time for landlords, and there's a lot of legislation coming out at the moment. Our main priorities are around about the tax changes that we're seeing at the moment, the mortgage interest relief and stamp duty changes that are coming forward over the next few years. We're also working on the housing and planning bill, and there are new measures in there to tackle rogue landlords, and we'd like to see perhaps the pendulum swing a little bit back so that we get better enforcement of current legislation rather than a whole raft of new legislation that we all know that local councils struggle to enforce at the moment. There's also the Immigration Act, the immigration bill going through at the moment with the right to rent checks starting in February, and of course Wales is a whole different environment, and we're working to ensure that Welsh landlords are aware of their responsibilities under the Rent Smart Wales changes that were introduced in November last year.
So I guess we can really summarise what you do by saying that you look out for landlords' best interests.
Absolutely, and we have to strike a balance. The bottom line is we're about making renting better across the sector, whether that's for landlords, tenants, local authorities. We want to see good legislation that helps landlords deliver appropriate accommodation at every level of the market, and the government needs to understand that their actions do have an impact on landlords, on tenants, on housing supply and on rent levels.
I think that, with Clause 24 and the other changes that are coming, I think landlords need a voice now like never before.
Absolutely, there's some real challenges coming the way of the private rented sector, and of course a very varied sector, and the changes will impact people in a different way, but the interest relief changes are huge. They are going to be phased in over 4 years, and there's been no real research done by the government to underpin the figures that are in the public domain. We're very cynical about the number of landlords and the number of properties and therefore tenants that will be affected, but it's an absolutely major change that I think many people weren't expecting in last year's budget, and we really need to ensure that landlords' voices are heard. We've warned the government about what we expect to happen in terms of rent increases, in terms of lack of supply, at the very time that private rented housing is predicted to be in even greater demand.
Well, thank you very much and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.